Let's focus. This is only discussion.
Very well, sir. But a fact is like a sack. If it's empty, it won't hold up. It needs to be filled with the reason and sentiment that caused it to exist. How was I to know that after that man died, that they had moved back here, that they were in misery, and that she had gone to work at a dressmaker in the shop of that Madame Pache?
Really, a top-notch fashion designer, ladies and gentlemen, you must know. In appearances, she works for the best of society, but she arranges matters so that these elegant ladies serve her purpose, without prejudice to other girls who are only so-so.
But you will believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it never occurred to me even remotely that the old hag offered me work because she had an eye on my daughter.
Poor Mama. When I brought back to that woman the work my mother had done, she would point out to me that I had torn one of my frocks and would give it back for my mother to mend. I paid for it, while this woman here believed she was sacrificing herself for me and these two children, staying up late at night sewing robes for Madame Pache.
And one day you met there?
Him. Yes, an old client. There's a fine scene for you to play. Superb.
She, the mother, arrived just then.
In time. Almost.
No, in time. Fortunately, I recognized her in time. And then I took them all back to my house to live with me. And now you can imagine her position and mine. She, as you see her here, and I, who cannot look her in the face.
Too funny. After that, how could I possibly be expected to be a modest young lady, virtuous and well-raised, to go with his confounded aspirations for solid moral health?
The drama lies all in this, sir. In the conscience that I have, that each of us has. We think of this conscience as a single thing, but it is many things, according to the many possibilities of being that lie within all of us. One for this and another for that. So we have this illusion of being the same person for all, of having a personality unique in all our acts. But it isn't true. We perceive this, perhaps tragically, when in something we do we are suspended, as it were, caught up on a kind of hook. Then we perceive that all that we are was not in that act, and that it would be a terrible injustice to be judged on that action alone, as if all of our existence could be summed up by that one deed. Well, now do you understand this girl's wickedness? She surprised me in a place where and how she should not have been, and where I also should not have been. And now she seeks to stick upon me a reality from a fleeting moment of shame in my life. This I believe above all else, and you will see how our drama acquires a tremendous value from it. As for the others, their situations, his.
Leave me alone. I will not be dragged into this.
What do you mean you won't get dragged into this?
I will not. And I don't want to, because you know well enough I'm not the kind to be involved in this with the rest of you.
We are just common folk. He, a fine gentleman. You may have seen how I look at him now and then to stab him with a glare of contempt. And he lowers his eyes because he knows the harm he has done to me.
I? Harm you? I?
Yes, you. I had to walk the streets because of you. Perhaps you didn't deny us the intimacy of a home, but you did begrudge us of that mere hospitality that makes guests feel at ease. We were intruders who had come to disturb the kingdom of your legitimacy. Mr. Director, I should like you to have to witness certain scenes between him and me. He says I have tyrannized everyone, but it was his conduct that made me avail myself to the reason why I'd come into this house. This reason he calls vile into his house with my mother, who is his mother too, and I came as mistress of the house.
How easy for them to always make me the villain. But imagine, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, the position of a son who unfortunately sees one day arrive at his home a brazen young woman. A woman who asked for his father, with whom he has no idea what business she has. This young man then has to witness her return with a bolder tone, with that child there. He is forced to watch her transact mysteriously. She asked him for money, in a manner which makes one suppose he must give her the money. He must, you understand? Because he has an obligation to do so.
But I did have an obligation to her. I owed it to her mother.